Oh, I have a translator here. Oh, great.
Ok, vamos a comenzar con la primera. Vamos a comenzar con la primera pregunta. Tenemos a Raúl Ortiz de la revista Cine y Más. Raúl.
Muchas gracias, Daniel. Bienvenido a México. Tu personaje es bastante interesante en la película. Me gusta mucho el inicio, sobre todo. Es un personaje algo solitario, como hoy en día se vive en la sociedad. Cuéntame un poquito acerca de qué elementos externos tomaste para retratar este inicio en la soledad. Es lo que yo me quedé con esta impresión de inicio. Gracias, Daniel. Logan.
Okay. The external elements. God, what did I do? I don't even know what I did. To be honest, I got the script and I just worked with what was on the page, tried to make it make sense to me. And yeah, in this film, Percy, where we ended off in the first movie, he was the hero, everything was great. He saved the day. And now we pick up and he's at the camp and he's not the hero anymore. He's filled with self-doubt. There's another demigod that's kind of one-upped him at the camp. So he is kind of filled with all these insecurities and everything. And on top of that, he really just wants to communicate with his father, who's really absent in his life. And then he's thrust in this adventure. So I guess, I just worked with the material in that sense. The scenes that were given to me externally. What did I do? I'm not sure. I just tried to make it make sense to me as much as possible. And, he's thrust in this adventure, and he's not sure if he's good enough to be the hero. So I guess that self-doubt is constantly on his mind. And that just happens naturally.
Pregunta 2. Arturo Tobar, de Urbano DF. Okay.
Hello, welcome to Mexico.
I can hear you great.
Más fuerte.
Welcome to Mexico. I gotta tell you, I'm quite a fan of Percy Jackson's book, so
thank you.
Congratulations, it's quite fun, the movie. But I was wondering, given your current experience with actors and directors and everything, what would you prefer? I was wondering, to work again with Mel Gibson, or work again with Emma Watson and kiss her again?
Oh, between the two?
Yeah.
Emma Watson. Yeah, that's an obvious choice. I'm going to go with her. She's so talented, and we actually became good friends too. I don't know Mel Gibson at all. I was a little kid when it's weird to even say work with him because I wasn't working. I was just a prop. I was a kid. I was sit here, get him out of school, sit right here and just smile to the camera, whatever the heck you're doing, But no, Emma's great, so I'll pick Emma in a second.
Cool. Or maybe Mel Gibson could direct the movie.
Maybe. He is a great director. That is true.
Cool. Thank you.
Pregunta 3. Nayeli Herrera, de Red Shock Inc.
Hola, Lola. Después de 3 años, ¿cómo te sentiste al regresar al set y ver a tus antiguos compañeros? Algo gracioso que te haya pasado en el set. Y bueno, mucha gente se pregunta por qué Pierce Brosnan no regresó a esta secuela. ¿Tú sabes por qué? Gracias.
Bronze. Yeah. I'm not sure why Pierce didn't come back. I'm sure it must have been some sort of scheduling thing. That's usually the reason why that sort of thing happens. But we have Anthony Head, and he's amazing in this film, and really did a great job. Picking up in his stilts. Because he had to wear stilts the whole time to be a horse. But reuniting with the cast was great. We're all old friends, and not old friends now because we shot the first movie 4 years ago. It's been 3 years, since we, started the second film. So it was a good reunion for us. We just had a good time on set. It never gets too intense, and there's never too much conflict between the characters or anything that's really going to cause conflict between, people in real life. So we just had a really good time making this movie. And yeah, you know, I remember just, you know, some of these scenes were, I mean, there's so much fun in the movie, but to film they can feel so ridiculous that we just had laughs, you know, just from the situations of being inside a sea monster on a ship, you know, controlling a gun and shooting our way out of the belly of the sea monster. That stuff is fun, and we cracked up the whole time.
Pregunta 4, Melissa Servín, Gamer Style.
Hola, Logan.
Ahí.
Hola. Yo te quería preguntar, si tuvieras un superpoder en la vida real, ¿cuál sería y qué harías tú para salvar el mundo, planeta? ¿Qué es lo que propondrías? Bueno, tu película es increíble y no sé.
Thank you. A daily situation. I would love for answering and put it back on. What would I like to do? I don't know. I mean, I think controlling the weather would be very, very, a very nice power to have. To be able to do that would prevent a lot of, you know, natural disasters. That would be great. A serious answer, right? Sort of.
Pregunta 5, Laura Ángeles, Entérate Online.
Por acá, welcome to México. Yo quisiera saber qué ha significado para ti Percy Jackson en tu carrera y cuál fue el reto en esta película que te implicó para hacerlo.
Well, I mean, Percy Jackson for me in my career really, I mean, it opened the doors for like a lot of things for me. But at the same time, it was just a huge opportunity. I remember starting off. I mean, you know, when I first got the script and finding out that Chris Columbus, who our, you know, original director, you know, was that he was going to make the film, and the idea of working with him on a fantasy adventure, it was like a childhood dream. So it made, you know, it was just a big impact on me to be a part of it. And then the after effects led to, you know, opening up doors to smaller films that I normally couldn't be a part of. You know, helping those, I guess, go into production somehow. I guess because of the value of these movies, they allow smaller films like the ones that I did. I feel awkward mentioning or something like that, but I did a film called The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which would never get made if I wasn't a part of a film like this. So that's nice, and you know, it's a fun movie to be a part of. But the challenges of making a movie like this, I'd say, more than anything, are physical challenges. The stunt work, the wire work, you know, sword fighting, you know, taking hits and falls and all that. It's physically draining, but I really enjoy it, so it's a good time. At the end of the day, you know, you're contributing to a movie, and that's a big deal for me, what I've always wanted to do. So, I love it.
Pregunta 6, Daniela Guzmán, Diario OP.
Hola Logan, bienvenido a México.
Hola.
Yo quisiera preguntarte, hablando de Chris y de Thor, que cambia el director en la película, ¿cómo te ayudó cada director a desarrollar estos diferentes Percys que vemos? Primero, el Percy héroe con Chris y ahorita el Percy que trata de encontrarse con Thor.
How did the directors help me achieve that? To be honest, I mean, I from both of them, from both directors, they really gave me a lot of freedom just to go where I wanted to go with the character, and you know, I'm pretty vocal and, you know, opinionated and everything, so we'd have conversations, but at the end of the day, they just kind of let me do my thing, which was nice. But I'd say, you know, just going into like the differences between Chris and Tor, which are, you know, very, very big differences. You know, Tor really brought out the tone of the book more so than Chris did. You know, and if you read the books and if you've read the books, they're really fast-paced, fun, funny adventure, stories. And Tor really brought that out in this movie and upped the scale with all the action and adventure. But yeah, I guess that's like the main difference between them. But in terms of like how they helped me, I guess, navigate the character's arc and everything, they really just kind of, just said, do your thing. That was kind of nice. Gracias.
Pregunta 7, Alejandra García de TV Joven.
Over here. Welcome to Mexico City. I have a question. After shooting this movie, you have already worked with green screen. Does it still hard for you to work with it? And what can you tell us about your visit in Mexico? Do you know any places or in Spanish that you can tell us?
It was such a quick trip to Mexico, which is unfortunate, but it's so nice to be here. I have a lot of family from Mexico City, and I've always wanted to come here, so it's nice to finally say that I've been, but it's too short of a trip. I'm only here for a few days. I want to come back and see, really get a little bit more of the culture, some more of the culture, which would be nice. What was the first part of your question? Because I'm blanking and I don't know why. I'm really sorry.
About using green screen again.
Using green screen?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the green screen's a lot of fun. And, a lot of people think that it's really difficult because there's nothing around you. It's just green screen. Which is true, but before you're doing it, most of the time they prepare you with animations, these videos that basically show the whole sequence you're going to shoot with the green screen, shot for shot, and exactly what it's going to be pretty much, but with like animated versions of the characters and myself and all the other guys. But on top of that, they show us conceptual art with all the images of the monsters and the atmosphere. So I have like a really good sense of what it's going to be, what it's going to look like in that green screen before I'm even there. So once I have that image in my head, I just kind of play around with it. I just kind of use my imagination and play around within the frames, the shots, and it's just fun. You just, you're killing a monster and you just have to give a few options to the editing room. That's pretty cool. Thank you.
Pregunta 8, Jaime Sosa de CineNT.
Hi Logan,
Hi.
I'm also a huge fan of the books of Percy Jackson.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, have you heard that Selena Gomez has a crush on you? You probably have heard.
I've heard.
How do you feel about that? Do you have any celebrity crushes yourself?
Yeah, I heard about that. Well, we're doing this whole press tour for the movie, so it's come up a few times, a few hundred times. I'm very flattered, though. When a pretty girl says that she likes you, it's that's pretty cool. Very flattering. I don't know what though.
Do you have any celebrity crushes yourself?
Do I have any celebrity crushes? Not really. There's people. I find a lot of celebrities attractive, but I wouldn't say that I find them like a crush. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say that they're a crush, but there's a lot of attractive people in the world. I guess I have crushes on a lot of people.
Siguiente pregunta, Elsie Salcedo de Reforma Gente Chiquita.
Hello, Logan.
Hello.
My first question is, have you read the 5 books, and which one is your favorite?
Mm-hmm.
And if you could be one Greek god or a mythological creature, which one would be?
Okay, or a creature, I like that one. I've gotten that question before, but only God. Nobody asked me if I wanted to be a creature. And I really would rather be a creature than a god, because that's cooler, in my opinion. Just to answer that off, right off the bat, it would be cool to be a Hydra or something like that. I don't know. If you guys know the first movie, like they had you guys know maybe not. Hydra would be fun. If I've read the books, I've been reading them movie by movie. So if we do the third one, I'd like to read the third book, but I've only read the first two, and it's hard to pick favorites. I feel a deep connection to both of them because we really we live in those worlds for so long. But to pick one would be hard for me. I really like the series though, so hopefully we can make more of these films. Enough people see it, and I can read the third one, and fourth one, and fifth one, so that it stays fresh when we work on it. Thank you.
Siguiente pregunta, Melissa Chávez, de revista Teen Kids.
Hi.
Hi.
My question is, what was your favorite scene that you shot so far in this movie?
My favorite scene? Well, I had a favorite scene to shoot, and I had a favorite scene in the movie. So I'll separate it into two. My favorite scene in the movie when seeing it was the sea monster, Charybdis. When we're stranded in the middle of the sea on our boat and it eats us, and we're in the middle of it, and when we're in its belly, and that whole sequence was my favorite sequence in the movie. I just thought it was so much fun. I really got lost in that segment and really enjoyed it. In terms of filming, I really enjoyed the Polyphemus' layer sequence. I like the parallels to the mythology and how we used Polyphemus in the modern day. I thought it was fun, and just because I knew the mythology beforehand, there's so many moments where I was like, I like the references to the Odyssey and things like that. So it was cool. Thank you.
Pregunta siguiente, Eder Quintero, de Police Web.
I'm going to speak in Spanish. En la película y sobre todo en la mitología se maneja mucho la cuestión familiar. ¿Qué mensaje darías tú, obviamente dentro de la película y en general, ¿no?, sobre este tema, sobre la familia?
Well, in this film, as I said, Percy is dealing with a lot of insecurities, and with his insecurities and his self-doubt and things like that, he's thrust in this adventure, and on top of that, he finds out that he has a half-brother who's a Cyclops, and he's pretty jealous of him because he finds out that his brother's been communicating with his father, and Percy's been desperately trying to communicate with his father for so long, and he gets a little jealous of that. But above all, relating back to his self-doubt and insecurities, he really crutches on his relationships with his new family and his friends, which, I think he considers family. Actually, they are family. They're cousins, really. And he really, he really crutches on those relationships to get him through those hard times. So the movie, at the end of the day, the real meaning of this film and what it's about, the message is, that the importance of family and friends, and how those relationships can bring out the hero in you, or make you stronger than you expected to be, and get you through tough times. So, yeah. Thank you.
Siguiente pregunta, Lisbeth Garduño, de En Fórmula.
Hola, Logan.
Hola.
¿Qué fue lo más difícil que te tocó hacer en esta película?
The most difficult thing, we have this sequence towards the end of the movie, this really big sequence with a very large monster. I don't want to give it away or anything, so I'm going to be vague with the details, but it was a really tough action sequence to film. It took us like a month to shoot. It all took place at night. When you're shooting at night, when you're shooting a sequence that takes place at night, you tend to work from about 5 in the afternoon to 5 in the morning. So we did that for about a month, and it was in Louisiana. I was in New Orleans, Louisiana during the middle of the summer, which is about, at night, that period of time, it's like 90-something degrees and humid. So it was, the atmosphere, the timing, mixed with it being the toughest, stunt sequence for us to shoot, made that the most difficult thing to film, but at the same time, one of the coolest parts of the movie. So, yeah.
Siguiente pregunta, Cristian Méndez, de Notas para ti.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Bienvenido a México. Hola. Bueno, en la película tu papá es un dios. En la vida real, si pudieras elegir no un dios, sino un actor que fuera tu padre, ¿quién sería y por qué?
I'd be pleased with that. Definitely would have my foot in the door. Would have been easier to start in this business, in this art form. It's weird to call it a business, but it is a little bit of a business. I can say that, I'm very close to my father. So if my dad just happened to be an actor, but he was the same person that he is now, that'd be great.
Última pregunta, Cintia Galindo, de Mi Entretenimiento.
Hi, Logan. How do you feel to do movies like Percy Jackson that are to younger people, and to do movies like The Birds of Prey and Wildflower or Fury or Noah? What is the difference?
Yeah, I mean, they're really different films. I mean, I'd say the main difference for someone in my position between the two types of movies is, Percy Jackson's a very physical film. It's something where the entertainment is based in the action, and it's also it's a lot lighter. It's a lot more comedic than a Perks being a wallflower. Perks is is a smaller movie, so we have less time to film, more things to do in a day. We have to move quicker. It's much faster paced to film that type of movie, but at the same time, it's much more emotionally draining than it is physically draining. So I'd say those are the main differences.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Muchísimas gracias a todos por haber venido.